Yeah, we are playing against a very, very good team. We must give that little bit of respect in that space. Even when we profiled them, they were amongst the top teams in terms of the creation of chances and scoring goals. So we know what we are dealing with. We may have been better in many other aspects of the game, but our profiling has always shown that they are a team that has got capacity. But be that as it may, I think we did not play our best performance in that match. And with that performance, which was not even I would say our 40% of capacity, we still managed to create very good chances. I think Temba could have scored first half, or Peter in the one that hit the upright. And second half, I think we scored a very legitimate goal when we improved our tactical approach and we stuck to what we had seen to try and put as much pressure in their build-up to make sure that we frustrate them. And our second half was very good. We improved in leaps and bounds, and we want to take it from there as if that was the first half of the match. And now we are going to the second half of the match because, honestly speaking, we let ourselves down in many aspects in that game. And I don't remember us repeating those mistakes again in any situation. If we have committed errors and we try to rectify, we come back stronger because all the goals they scored were literally our mistakes, either to allow the cross, either to not pick up in the box. And that's basically what they did. And they had a very strong wing play, which we anticipated even before. But unfortunately, those few lapses and they capitalized. And on the day, they were very clinical because they did not create as many chances, but they scored the few that they got, which is what I always say about the Champions League, that in South Africa, you can make a lot of mistakes in the league, but you still not get punished. But there, you make one or two mistakes and they all result in a goal, in a shorted goal, or there was one cross that was played and the striker slid was a little bit late. And those moments defined the game. But I do believe our team has got the capacity to turn the results.
Sharik, online, can I get a question from you, please? Sharik Baudin, do you still have a question?
Thanks so much. Karabo and Sobri's hand was ahead of me. Can they go first, please? Sorry, man.
No problem. Aubrey, please go ahead.
Sobri from TVR Solution Sports Program. Coach, well done. It was said at one point, if the presser was correct, you once said you are no more competing with the local teams. You are looking outside the continent. And I think we are seeing that coming up nicely. I'm sure looking to this game, you want to make sure that you achieve that goal, that you are counted as one of the best in the continent. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, Coach.
I think Sobri, that's sufficient answers from the coach there. Silibalo, please go ahead.
Thank you. Tashrik, thank you so very much, my brother. Appreciate it. Good morning, Coach, and good morning to all my colleagues as well. Coach, what can we expect from Sundowns on Saturday, considering that, there's a bit of pressure on you guys to really go through because of what you guys have achieved in the Champions League and in the league this season? What type of game can we expect from Sundowns from the onset until the 90th minute and hopefully not beyond that? Thank you.
Nothing different, to be honest. We will stick to our playing concept. We are a team that wants to dominate the field. We are a team that wants to dominate the ball. Dominating the pitch, it means dominating all duels, aerial, ground, winning all the battles in 1v1s, group or team tactics, and also dominating the ball with the number of chances created, ball possession, completed passes, box entries, and all those things. We want to see our team giving us what we are used to. We've got our own averages that we normally get in terms of how many big chances do we create in a match, how many passes do we combine in a match, how many box entries, how many assists, and all those things. We want to dominate the game, And it's no different. Even a match that we play, starting from a 0-0, we always want to score, we always want to win. And this one is no different, because even here, if we are to go through, we need a goal. And one goal might be enough to get us through. But the truth of the matter is we want to play a very, very high octane game where we will have strong elements of high press, stronger elements of a quicker short passing game, like extra pass, and to making sure that we keep the team compact, which will ultimately assist us to be able to counter press immediately with lose possession, because when you stretch the pitch, you ultimately create possibilities that after losing possession, you take a little bit longer to reorganize yourselves because the distances are longer. So we'll try to play a very compact game and make their life very difficult. And if we can be at our very best in our high press and make sure that they do not have stability building from the back, half the job is done. The good thing that they do, which is helpful to them, but is also very detrimental if we were to take our chances. They plant 4 players on top of your last line immediately. They plant both wingers, both strikers on top of your back 4. And already that says if you were to win the ball before it arrives to that 4, you already stand a chance of having numerical superiority in attack. But be that as it may, it also poses a lot of stress on the last line, because it makes your last line to need to have a +1 either from a central midfielder in most cases, or either from the opposite fullback if the play is on the wide channels, because that's what they play for. They play to get into the wide channels, to cross the ball, and they are very good in that space. We must give them credit. They do not waste time. Once an opportunity to put the ball in the box prevails, they don't hesitate, they put it in, and they know they've got 2 strikers that are sitting in, and those 2 strikers are box strikers. If we take the game a little bit away from our box by pushing the game into their half, probably we will minus 2 of their best players, because they thrive on being in and around your box a lot. And when they are not in and around your box, there is not much they can really hurt you with, because they can't come short and combine. Maybe Thiago tries a little bit, but Yano is not the type of a player. He's a target striker that is looking for aerial battles in the box and to fight for every cross that comes in. So we somehow understand what we have to deal with. And another bigger strength that we have to make sure we neutralize is Jared, number 28, right-footed, very quick winger, who's always looking to go to his right. He hardly goes to his left. And when he goes to his right, on the right side, he puts the ball into the box. When he's on the left, he wants to cut inside immediately to put the ball in the box. That's what they are playing for, because they know they planted those 2 strikers inside the box. And on the day, we did not do what we have done very well in other previous matches, to try and make sure that when a cross is played, at least we've got proper man-to-man marking in the box, which we did not do very well in the last match. The first goal was shambles, because I think we were a 4 against 1, and the striker managed to get the goal. So those are areas that we need to improve on, because those are areas that are very, very uncharacteristic of our team.
Please go with your question.
Thank you. Coach, your experience in Africa as a coach alone extends longer than 5 years. And given that sort of experience, you have had to deal with playing in different countries across the continent. This past weekend, we've seen Orlando Pirates, who are still in the CAF competition, go down to Simba in Tanzania. And Coach Mandla spoke candidly about the difficulties of African teams traveling in and around Africa with hostilities and the various other aspects to that. It brings, and with Simba as well as Petro coming to South Africa, it gives that sort of air of intensity and pressure on Pirates as well as Sundowns as for a must win. Given your experience of that, do you feel that was sort of a fair assessment as well from Coach Mandla? And the second question is, are there any injuries in the team heading into this weekend's fixture? Thanks so much.
To be honest, I would not want to dwell much on what Coach Mandla said, because I don't know their experiences and what happened to them in Tanzania. With us, it's a little bit different. In the past, there were a lot of such bad treatments, but mind games more than anything else, where we decided as a team to have our advanced team going in advance to make sure that they prepare everything for us in terms of the training pitches, the buses that we are going to use, and the hotel that we are going to be accommodated in, to make sure that we set our standards in the country that we are going to. We don't rely on them, because in some instances you would find that the training pitch that you are given is of very poor quality, and when you are already there, you can't do much. But if our advanced team sees the training pitch and they realize it's not good enough, they get another training pitch privately and pay for it. The same thing with the bus. In Africa, they use a lot of these coasters, these smaller buses. You'll find that they already prepared to give you a coaster, and you know the contingents, the team that you are bringing in, how many are those people. Then you get a proper bus in that space. And these are some of your responsibilities. Now the hotel is your responsibility. In the past, the team that you are going to would have to organize a hotel and a transport for you. And that was a little bit bad, because they would organize a hotel that they know will have issues. But at this stage as Sundowns, I think we've earned a lot of respect in the continent, and we are treated fairly well, and we are supported in these countries. And I would not really complain about anything that much, except the few things that I'm saying we also have to take care of, like the training pitch. We make sure that we've got a training pitch that we are comfortable with. The buses, we make sure we've got what we believe is good enough for us, to make sure that we don't get any surprises. But as to what happened to Pirates, at this stage, I would really not know what happened, and I would not want to comment on something that I'm not aware of.
Mark, please go ahead before we come back to the floor.
Thank you and good morning. Coach, does VAR, having VAR change the planning in any way?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge, man, this thing of VAR, but it's something that we have to adapt to, because we've seen in the Euros, in the UEFA Champions League, in the EPL, this VAR, whenever there's something that is a little bit dubious, you expect the referee to go to that screen and verify and make sure that it's exactly what he thinks it is. But now in Africa, it's like they choose what they want to go and check on the screen, because the foul on Tapelo in the first 5 minutes of the game, honestly speaking, the last defender is the one that pulled him, and you would expect that that defender gets a red card. But if the referee is not sure whether he was the last defender or not, then he would have to go and check in the screen whether was it the last defender or not. Is it a professional foul? Then acts on that. But if a referee does not even want to go and check this thing, as if he's 100% sure that the way he saw it is the right way, it's not proper. And going into the goal that Neo scored second half, the referee was less than 2 meters away from the incident, and even the camera angle of the VAR is impeded by the position of the referee. They can't show exactly the check on by Motobi, but the referee who was closest and deemed it necessary to continue with the game, because he was close. It's not like a situation where you would say the referee could not see what had happened. The referee was in the best possible angle, even better than the camera angle, to be able to make a call. And he made a call to continue up until maybe 3-4 combinations after that, and he scored a very good goal, the equalizer. Then suddenly he goes back to the VAR. So it's a little bit of an issue. Maybe we've got our own teething problems with the VAR, but we don't want to be making excuses, because we are aware it can help in some instances, and in some instances maybe they also make a mistake even when they've gone to the screen. The referee will still come back with a very wrong decision, and we've seen this in many instances. So the human error is still going to be there, even if they are being used.
Do you think what's the area of the challenges for as long where these units are appreciating not just this area, but only the facility during this sector?
No, for sure, because practice always makes you perfect. So when you are not practicing week in and week out, and you only encounter it in a continental tournament or in a continental match, then you are not used to decisions being taken beyond you or what you see at that point in time. And that's why at times they don't even go for VAR to check, even when they are being requested, because we were told that they have not restarted, you can restore here. But even when you ask them, because they are not used to doing it, they still stubborn because they think now you think you are bigger than them. But the truth of the matter is the law says you can ask the referee to go and check in the VAR so that he makes sure that the decision that he took is the best one. So, but because of the same thing that they are not using it week in and week out, they will still feel, no, I might still make a decision here. I still believe I'm the right one to make a call. But really, it has its own negative effects on the game itself. But sometimes it pulls a very good decision. We must also be honest. It's just that it's not going to be consistent in making sure that if there is a dubious decision, let it be checked properly and make a call based on that. Then we will always have issues.
The question, you see something which is in the recent South Africa, or the lasting fan experience, and so that the dedication is there, they, the fans are coming here to be part of the training, and it is the whole creation of the team. What's your take on that? That the fans now will be put into your space where you're preparing for a big game, and something that we talked about years since we last saw that sort of, and now Sundowns, the best team to play with, now it's in the coaching space.
To be honest, I think it's the best decision. I don't want to lie to you. I've seen it with many European teams, and I think it brings a sense of ownership on the side of the spectators, because they have seen the preparation. They don't take things for granted. Already they start assuming this might be the starting lineup, this player might play or not. And when I was growing up, I used to see Amazulu when they were training in Durban. The few times I went to see their training, they would have 5,000, 10,000 supporters in training. And that had a very big impact in the number of people that were supporting football at that time, because the number of people now, because they've got this sense of ownership, I really want to go and see this match and see whether this boy can do what he was doing in training. At times they'll get disappointed, at times they'll be satisfied with, hey, he even played better than what we had seen in training. So a sense of ownership from the spectators is very important. There are a few things, man, that I think in our football, if you can bring in, they will add value in terms of improving our supporters, the support in the matches. I went to Brazil 2008. I went to watch a match, Flamengo versus Fluminense, under 15. There were more than 20,000 spectators watching under 15. Why? Because after that match of under 15, there was going to be a big match of Fluminense and Flamengo. So the parents that had come to see their kids earlier stay in the stadium up until the senior team comes and plays, and the support improves, because that's mass participation now. For young kids, you bring your wife, the siblings, the grandmother, the grandfather, everybody to come and watch this youngster. But you also have another match to watch. In South Africa, we had Champions League, if you remember before. They would play before the big match, and the parents and everybody comes early into the stadium. And I don't know how much damage young kids can do into the pitch, but bringing those people into the stadium from early hours of the morning. By the time the match starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the stadium is packed. And we had this experience. We are not talking about something that we saw from outside. We saw it here. We had curtain raisers in the past, which I honestly don't think they really have as much negative impact in improving the support base, because now you've got the support of the young team and the support of the senior team. So the young team is mainly supported by families. And families bring 10 people per family to watch one player. And that becomes the support that the main team will get. And for me to have our supporters here, I think it also takes away some of the perceptions that players are, supporters sometimes, they always think they can also do what the players are doing. They also think, no, I think I can play better than this one. But if they have to go through what the players go through, then they start having a little bit more respect and say, hey, I was not aware why the coaches are using this boy, but hey, in training, it really does well. Yes, maybe you might not be having very good performances in the match, but they start to be a little bit more patient because they know what he's capable of, because they've seen him in training. And I think it's a noble initiative if it's not spoiled by maybe supporters wanting to be inside the pitch and also wanting to be part of the game. Then it's a problem. That's why bigger teams would have grandstands around the stadium and the supporters would be there watching. I was watching Real Madrid in 2009 in Spain. Every training session, people come to watch the game. Their small training stadium is full almost every day. People are watching and they start to identify with these players. They start to realize, no man, there's a player there called Promising Kuma who is not playing regularly, but hey, there is future. They start now to project that maybe next year this boy is the one that is going to play in the place of player so and so, because they've seen him in training and they've seen that in as much as he's coming from the academy, but he does have enough to compete at the highest level. And I really believe that will help our country to improve the numbers. When big teams are having 10,000, 15,000 spectators in a 90,000 stadium, it does not look good. And you go to Angola, the stadium is packed. You go to Egypt, the stadium is packed. You go to Tunisia, the stadium is packed. Morocco, the stadium is packed. What are they doing differently that we are not doing?
Coach, great answer to that question. Timon Malo online.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everyone. Just following up on, obviously, the last answer you gave about just stadium attendance. This weekend, in addition to the football, there will be live entertainment. The club is really putting an effort in creating an atmosphere. How important is it to you and the players for there to be a reason for fans to come to the stadium week in and week out?
Last match that we played against Al Merrikh, we had already qualified for the quarterfinals. We wanted to better our benchmark of 13 points to go to 16 points, and we managed to achieve that. But what we also put on the minds of the players was to say to the players, they must give the reason to the supporters to want to come and watch Sundowns again in the next match. So giving the reason for the supporters to come means give a spectacle, give a good performance that makes people to say, we want to come and watch this team, regardless of the results sometimes. If you show that you have given everything and you've left your piece of your skin in the pitch, you are saying, we have done our best. And at times, the result is not what will bring people back. It's how you performed and how you really pushed yourself into the match, because in football, anything can happen. That is understandable and acceptable. But one thing that is not acceptable is when you lose a match and you've not given your best and you've not really played your normal football. You start to play with a lot of frustration, long balls, trying second ball, something that people have not seen before. But if you play your normal game, our playing concept is known by all and sundry, and we will give the best performance that we want to give and put a little bit more energy into it to make sure that it really speaks volumes in terms of how much we want to win this match. And when we do that, normally when Sundowns gives an A game, Sundowns wins.
Very last question before we wrap.
Coach, you've been in this position for last season.
I'm a very positive person by nature. I also expected you to say we went to Otoho and we lost 2-1 and we came back and scored 3. We went to Zesco, we lost 2-1, we came back and scored 2. We've done this before. I want to look at what is positive because I gather a lot of strength from positive energy. So the fact that we did not win against Wydad when we needed 1 goal to win, we understand. The fact that we did not win against Ali last year, the mountain was a little bit steep for us because we allowed Ali to score 2 goals away. And when you allow 2 goals without any reply away from home, it becomes very difficult because now if they score 1 goal, it becomes a mess. But we believe we've got capacity to do well. We played against Chicken Inn in Zimbabwe in those early stages. I think 2016, they beat us 1-0 there with Katsvairo's goal, and we came back home and we beat them. And we've got the experience of coming back, and we've won a lot of matches to believe that our team is good enough. In the past 2 years, I think we have lost 4 matches, and that for us is something that carries us and makes us to believe. As Sundowns, we've got capacity to come back, and as Sundowns, we've got capacity to win every match that is in front of us.